phones. Well, today we are not outside. It's absolutely horrible. You can probably hear it. It's freezing rain. It started off as rain and transitioned to freezing rain. And within the next hour or two, it's going to transition to snow. And we're going to probably get a good dumping of 20 centimeters. So I thought, well, now's the time. I better bring the snowblower in. I took it out of the shed. And just bringing it here in that brief time, you can see the freezing rain is just covering everything outside. It's a horrible day to be out on the roads. So I thought, you know what? I do this every year. This is my Craftsman 1150, 27 inch. It's been a great machine. I've had it about 5 years now. It's my second one. My first one lasted me well over almost 25 years until the salt ended up eating up the chute house and I guess the hopper where the snow goes into. It wasn't worth repairing, so I replaced it. And I'll tell you right now, it's a phenomenal machine. So what I look after, so what I'm gonna do today is I usually will check the oil, lube all the mechanical parts, grease the auger, and just make sure everything's good. So stick around and we'll get started. Just have some fun on a yucky day. Thanks a lot. All right. First thing I like to do when I check my machine out is I like to check the tire pressures. Now, unfortunately, my gauge is in my truck. My truck is not here. So I put my large compressor gauge on it, but I can't get a reading out of it. I know by squeezing on the tire, it has lots of pressure on it. So I can always go back and check the tire pressure when I get my truck back later today. The same thing with this one. Oh yeah, tires are both full, solid. And the other thing, first thing, what I like to do after that is I like to check the oil. And I know I changed the oil on this machine last year. It didn't work too much because last year was and you can see on the dipstick, it's kind of hard to see, but it is full to the line, the second line. And it's still quite clean. So it's kind of hard to make it out. There you go. So you can see it goes right to the top of the second line and it's quite clean. So we know that is one of the most important things right off the bat, making sure that we have oil and the oil is in good shape. If I did need to change the oil, it's really easy on this machine. I have the drain plug right there, which I usually put an empty windshield washer bottle underneath it, slightly tilt it, and there's another one right on the opposite side of it where the tire is if I want to use that one, but I prefer using this one, less mess. And afterwards, I'll fill it up with Fresh 10W30. Now all my machines I use synthetic oil, so I'll tell you right now, Mobile One, can't go wrong, does the job. So next, moving on, are the cable linkages. I always make sure that there's nothing is seized or any damage or come undone. You can see from sitting, it still chute's moving nice up and down. The cable is still connected. The spring is still intact. And I'll show you up on top where the levers are so you can get. Okay, so up here at the top, we have two levers. One is for my speed. And this one here is for the lever control that adjusts the chute up and down. So if I move this, the cable's still intact. It brings it all the way down. I have to release it and I bring it back. You can see it's sticking a little bit. And so I will make sure I lubricate this just to get that going. It hasn't been used, so it could be, yeah. I'll still spray it. The other lever is for swinging the chute back and forth. Now, this has a couple of U-joints in it. A U-joint there, a U-joint there, and worm gear underneath, which is kind of hard to see, but we'll give those a shot of lubrication as well. And then I have the auger and the tires, which they seem to be intact, but we'll check them. Yeah, you can see that's moving nice. That's moving nice. So, and then the last thing I usually do is the gearbox. I have a nipple here, which I put some grease in to make sure the back of the impeller's okay. The end bearings are still good and caps are still good. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna put some grease in there and lubricate all that stuff. Okay, so now we're gonna give the front a little bit of a greasing just inside here, which is always good to do at the beginning of the season. This way you know that. I don't know. Can't see, can't tell. So like I said, I like to make sure the cables are lubed, the hopper is lubed. That's always good. Just see how that moves nice and freely now. Which during the season, I don't have to worry about it. And I'm not skimpy. I like to use quite a bit. The other things, like I said, are the U-joints, which I like to give them a good lubrication. Always important. Thank you. At the end of the day, you don't want to take any chances, I guess. You know what I mean? Just give it a good lubing. Okay. So we've checked the tires, we lubricated all the links, the U-joints. Make sure all the levers at the top were lubricated and checked. We checked the oil, we checked the auger, we checked the bearings, we greased. With all that said, there's only one thing left to do is fresh fuel and give it a pull. And what I usually do is I usually give it a pull start instead of using the electric starter. I know the electric starter works mint on it, but let's see what happens. All right, I just put fresh fuel in. Every time I use this machine, I'm just gonna leave you a little, which I've mentioned in other videos of mine, is that this is the fuel shut off, which I think is probably the best thing that they've ever could do, and best thing that they invented. I shut the fuel off when I'm finished using my machine. I let it run dry. It empties the bowl of fuel going to the carb. There's no residue, nothing left in it. So I don't have to worry about gunk buildup, sticking, the pin getting plugged. And every time I go to use it, I just turn it back on and she never gives me a problem. With that being said, let's I get a this other angle. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to turn my fuel on. Keys in it already. So we're gonna prime it because 1, 2, 3. Put the choke. Now, before I do anything else, I'm gonna open the door to the garage. All right, so I primed it. I got the choke on. I'm just gonna turn it sideways. 1 sec. The exhaust is aiming out. And like I said, we're gonna use the pull start. Okay? Well, there you have it. You can see a little bit of smoke from the oils that I've sprayed on it. So, you close that door because it's a little chilly outside. That's what I meant about the fuel shut off. 1 pull. You guys seen? I primered it, turned the choke on. I gave it 1 pull by hand and she started. Ooh, you see my breath. Let's see, I opened that garage door and the cold came in. Hooray. It's vaping without a vape. So now you know what I mean about that fuel cutoff. It's amazing. Let it run dry, open it back up, fills up, 1 pull. It's sat since last year. And I didn't use it much last year, so just remember that. And on those cold days where you need, there's the plug, electric start, and just good to go. So from in the woods with the Capones, thanks for watching. Be good, be safe. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks again.